Hi everyone, Cendril here along with Finn.
Hey buddy, nice Skylark, aka Finn Feather Dragon here.
Spirits feeling neutral today. So do I. Guess. Alright.
So,
Dear Cendril, I'm at my wit's end. I desperately want to make a Coco no at the saloon. Coco no? But I have no way of getting a coconut. Can you help me out? Yep.
do you have a coconut?
I don't think it's here. Maybe I have one here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you get a bunch. Okay. I think the saloon opens at like 12, so.
Yeah, it opens up late.
Yeah, cause saloon. Okay, so one question for today. Are you ever going to play D&D on the channel? You keep bringing up the GM side of you.
I do bring that up a lot. So those of you that are still watching Stardew Valley, which the numbers are few, but those of you that have stuck around for 200 plus episodes, one, thank you, and two, you can kind of get void egg.
Woo!
Yay! Still no rabbit's foot. You get a little behind
Caravan.
this. You get a little behind the scenes. Yes, caravan.
Yeah.
I actually had plans to run D&D sessions with Really looks really happy today.
Woo!
To run D&D on the channel. And I was gonna put it together with a couple of my friends. We were gonna have a camera. We were gonna use a GoPro to have a top-down view. You couldn't see anybody's faces, but to have a top-down view of the table, so you could see all the dice rolls and see all of the like the miniatures moving around and stuff. Because we had like maps where you to play on and stuff. So you could see all of that. All that got blown up when I was basically kicked out of my group. So, it's a long story, not one I'm going to get into. It's personal. So, that's between me and the few people. So, I haven't played D&D in like a year and a half since that's happened. So one, I'm really rusty anyway, and yeah, that's what happened. So all that got blown up. So don't expect to see D&D on the channel anytime in the near future. But know at one point that I actually did have plans to do that, and it was going to be something different on the channel, in the hopes of just getting some new people watching, because there would have been a different side of gaming, of the channel. And you all know I'm not Matt Mercer by any stretch of the imagination, but I am an amateur voice actor, just from all the voice acting I've done on the channel. Yeah, I've not done any voice acting for anybody, but just from the years of voice acting on the channel. So I would have done voices for NPCs, try to, you know, just to add some flavor, make it maybe a bit different than other people that do that. If that didn't work out, we talked about streaming it, because that's a big thing. People stream the games and then you can participate. We talked about that at one point. So just know that you know, there was, at one point I did have plans to bring D&D to the channel, but that's not in the cards anymore. But thank you for the question. I'm glad you took interest in the GM D&D side of me, because I played it for a long time.
So that was, excuse me. I've seen people, like you said, do D&D on Twitch or like streaming on YouTube, but I haven't like the GoPro on a top-down version. I've seen a lot of people where to like dress up and play it like that. They like have a camera follow the dice around or something.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even like know how to like begin to set that up because my friends and I we do D&D, but it's through Skype, where basically it's honor system on the dice rolls, and the DM she draws all the maps, the art, and everything, and we basically say, well, I want to go hit this person. Is that possible? Yes, take your move around and then go swing. So.
They're really expensive, but on Steam there is a program for, I think it's 3.5 or maybe for 5th edition now. I think it's called Fantasy Grounds. It's way too expensive because they $1 and $10 you. I would say nickel and dime, but they like $5 and $10 you for all this additional like maps and stuff.
Oh, screw that.
But it's all online, so you do it all through Steam. So everybody can see the board. It has a dice roller in it. Everybody sees the die rolls. You input your character stats, so you have them with you at all times. It's a super neat program to play D&D with other people, you know, through the internet. You know, basically what you're doing, except like everybody would be able to see everything.
Right.
It was really cool. Me and a couple of friends looked at that. But it's really expensive. I think for like all the DLC, I kid you not, it's like if you bought everything, like all the little DLC packs they have for different like map terrain and character figures and stuff, it's like $1,300 or something like that.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's super expensive.
No, no.
It's ridiculous, and I may be lowballing that, by the way.
No, screw that.
It's a cool program, but there's a lot of like cheaper programs out there like that, and so one of the ways to do it, like I've seen this too, is you have everybody. And everybody has to be wanting to do this, first of all. But you have like everybody on Skype, and you have all the different face cams. And then you have like the board in the middle. And then when people like digitally roll, everybody can put up the rolls. I've seen that on Twitch. I mean, it works really well. There's like a super popular one, but
yeah.
I don't remember who they are. But there's like a super popular one that does that.
Now, I know which one you're talking about, because that's what we looked at first to do it in, and then money. So we ended up, with Skype, we have like all the face cams up, and if there's something we need to see, the DM just holds it up to her face cam, and we take a look at it. Or she'll put it on, like we share all the files like on the Google Drive or something. So we can look at it that way. And then, so we looked at the programs to do it that way, but it was just kind of expensive, and then getting it actually set up was going to be like real tedious and almost not worth it. So we decided to go kind of a modernized, old-fashioned way of just getting everybody in one place at the same time, and then just calling out. Cause, you know, Skype has a little chat feature. So roll initiative, roll fortitude, whatever. You would type out your rolls. It's so that the DM can see them, line them up, blah, blah, blah. And then, if you roll damage, you tell how much damage you took, and the DM would write it back how much damage they received or you took, or whatever. So, it's interesting. I mean, it's fun. It's nothing compared to just sitting around, you know, someone's dining room table and doing it. But, considering how far away I am from everybody, well, shoot, it's like, one group's in Texas, one group's in Washington State. So, yeah, it's just good to be able to do it on Skype and have everyone, quote-unquote, together, so. But anyway. To the saloon! But if you ever did do D&D, would you want to do it again on your channel? If you ever got an opportunity to do it?
Depends. Depends on who,
on the group?
Depends on if I know the people or not. Depends on if they want me to DM. Care about the way that I DM. You can't buy coffee. You're right.
All that stuff.
Like, I wouldn't want to do it over the internet either, so, like, everybody'd have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to have a place, so we'd have to have a place to play, a place to record. Everybody'd have to be fine with being on camera. There was just a lot that went into it to begin with, which is why it never happened. And we were, like, closer than I would be with random people. So,
right.
Probably not. I don't even know if I want to play D&D anymore, just because, like, that really disheartened me. So
That's
I don't
bad.
I don't even want to. Like, I really don't even want to DM anymore. I don't want to DM. I really don't want to play. It just killed it.
Someone does that to anybody with any game. That's just sad.
So.
Anyway. Be neat, but like you said, just be hard to get everything together. Make the fence bigger.
Yeah, I need more. I need stone. Say what?
I was just saying, like, if you... So you probably would never do it again just because you got so disheartened by it?
Probably. I really don't have any want to play or run a D&D group anymore. Actually, I have stone fence.
So, thank you for the question. There you go.
Yep. I appreciate the question.
Sorry, it was probably not the answer you're looking for.
That's true. But, it happens. I used to play... Those of you that are interested, I guess we still have time, so I can talk about something else.
Yeah.
For those of you that are interested in how many, like, role-playing tabletop games I have played a lot. If it's a system, I've probably at least tried it. I have played a lot of different systems. I've played Star Wars D6 and D20. I've played White Wolf D10 systems. I've played D20 Modern once, so I'm really rusty on D20 Modern. But D&D, I've played D&D. I've played GURPS. I've played Rifts. I've played Warhammer. If it's a system, I've probably tried it. There was a big point in my life, I'd say, like, five so years ago, that I got really into tabletop with some friends. A few friends, different sets of friends. I would say over the past, like, 12 years ago, up to just a few years ago, I tried all kinds of different systems with different people, different friends, that, some faded out of my life, some stayed around. But there was a point I was really into tabletop gaming. So I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to tabletop gaming. You're not talking to a spring chicken here. I have played many different systems. And one final question, maybe I'm answering a question that one of you would have asked, but you can still ask a bunch of questions off of that if you would like. My favorite system was probably, for as many faults as it had, just for sheer fun and crazy value. Just like the over-the-topness of it, was Exalted, which is a White Wolf, is done by White Wolf, and it's a D10 system. I just use 10-sided dice. Exalted is heavily your experience with Exalted will be heavily based on how good the storyteller is, aka the GM. It's called storyteller in Exalted.
Right.
And the reason for that is it is highly based on storytelling, because Exalted is very open-ended. If you want an open-ended game, whereas D&D kind of has more of a structure, yeah, you can do things in D&D like, yeah, I want to tie the rope to this pillar and try to pull it down, and roll dice and stuff. Exalted is like, I want to throw my spear 500 yards and pin that guy's cloak to a tree. You can do crazy stuff like that in Exalted. Exalted is very over the top. And there aren't a lot of, like, monsters. There's no monster manual or anything like that, which is one of the downfalls. It's really heavily based on the storyteller doing stuff. I've talked about this before. 3rd edition for Exalted is coming out soon. I don't think it's already out, but it's coming out soon, which is really exciting. Hopefully they solve some of the problems that 2nd edition had. But it's a very open-ended game, and some of my favorite games to play in, and some of my favorite characters come from Exalted. Just because you really get into backgrounds, into story, into your character. And you do that in any tabletop game, but Exalted really pushes you to do it, because that's the main part of Exalted. And
Sounds like it's required.
It really is required. If you want to get the most out of Exalted, it's required. I guess all White Wolf games are like that. Scion, Exalted, World of Darkness, which I'm not a fan of. Too dark for me. But all of those, you really get way more in your character than you do just by stats. Stats are super important, of course, but you really do get in your character more in Exalted, just because it's required. Because that's what Exalted really revolves around. Revolves around the story a lot, and what you do as a character. The DM has the storyteller has to be very on his toes, just because the characters can have so much power that you can easily change where the story is going. So you have to have a very experienced storyteller, or you just have to be willing to just go with having fun, whatever the storyteller does. But that's Exalted. But I have played a lot of tabletop games. So if you have a question about tabletop games, especially older ones, I've played. There's some newer ones that I have not tried. But I know a lot. So sorry, just cut Finn off there and ramble.
Tell you how rude.
Bad about that. But for my lovely girlfriend,
I've been Naskalak. I'll see y'all later.
I'm Cendril 9. Remember to shoot for the stars and take care, everyone.